The visible world is a daily miracle for those who have eyes and ears. Isn't our universe amazing? It is absolutely bizarre to think that all of us are made of the same stuff as our universe. Since the inception of mankind, we have been thinking about who or what has put us here. The origin of the universe is still widely debated. Some believe that a supernatural, omnipotent, and omniscient entity is what led to the beginning of human life on Earth. Others opine that the world that we know it started with a big bang. Although this theory is widely accepted, it is still highly debated. However, a great philosophical question that trumps the previous question is, why does the universe exist? Why is there something rather than nothing? While many early thinkers wondered why the universe was the way it was, Leibnitz had a different question. Leibnitz is a legend who is also attributed to being the father of modern-day calculus. He went a step further and questioned why there was a universe at all. It would have been easier if nothing existed. No sun, no moon, no earth, no stars, no universe, absolutely nothing whatsoever. Everything would have been simpler and easier. All complexities would be avoided. Leibniz thought that the fact that something exists rather than nothing deserves an explanation. His answer to this complex question was God. Yes, he believed that God wanted to create the best universe possible, so he is the reason why everything we see around us exists. After Leibniz passed away, the great question that took birth in his brilliant mind still continues to amaze and puzzle philosophers and scientists. However, as the world became more secular and the number of agnostics was rising as never before, his theory of gods being the reason for the existence of the universe lost its shimmer. Several other scientists came up with several explanations for the existence of the universe. Einstein, 17th century philosopher Spinoza, and theoretical physicist Lawrence Krauss are the others who voiced their ideas. Although all of those explanations are very good, it's not the answer we are looking for. None of them even come close to unraveling the mystery of our existence. Finally, millennia after this question was first asked, it seemed that we are closer to the ultimate answer now than ever before. It is the British-born scientist Stephen Wolfram, who claims that he has found a route to a fundamental theory of physics that will give answers to some of the questions that have stumped the great thinkers. What is space? What is time? Why does the universe exist? The scientist, who is a US resident, believes that he and his team are getting closer and closer to finding the answers to the big question. Wolfram's starting point was to ask, what is space? Physicists don't often ask this question, he says. They merely think of space as the backdrop against which the events of the universe play out. According to Wolfram, space is made of networks of nodes, which are connected to each other. The nature of the connections, how each node is linked to nearby and faraway nodes, can create a space of any dimension. He also believes that the universe started with an infinite number of dimensions. Slowly and gradually, it cooled down to just 3. Those are the 3 dimensions that we see around us. He is still perplexed as to why there are only 3 and not more or less. Wolfram was interested in answering these unanswered queries from his childhood. It should be noted that he started publishing scientific papers at the ripe age of 15. He also had the good fortune to work under Richard Feynman, one of America's most renowned physicists. The turning point in his life was when he used a computer to investigate the consequences of simple computer programs, one whose output is repeatedly fed back in as their input. This concept is very similar to a snake eating its own tail. The simplest computer programs he could think of at the time were cellular automata. Although the name sounds complex, the logic is very simple. These are one-dimensional lines of squares, each of which can be empty or filled with content. A rule is applied that replaces a certain pattern of squares with another. In this way, a new line of squares is created, and another new line, and so on. Wolfram discovered that nothing interesting happened most of the time. In some cases, there were persistent features that moved across the evolving cellular grid. This reminded him of the subatomic particles in the real world. The big surprise, however, was that there were a few rules that created never-ending complexity. This whole concept was very novel. This discovery stunned Wolfram. He was amazed by the revelations of this simple program. Usually, simple programs have simple outputs, and complex programs have complex outputs. But Wolfram had discovered simple programs with complex outputs. His immediate thought in his genius mind was, is this how the universe creates a rose or a newborn baby or a galaxy? Is it merely applying a simple program over and over again? He published his findings in 2002, but this didn't receive the recognition he thought it deserved. Many physicists found it tough to digest this information. Basically, what Wolfram was saying is that most of what the universe is doing is computationally irreducible. In other words, the outcome of this puzzle can be discovered only by running the computer program for the 13.82 billion years that the universe has been in existence. However, Wolfram was also saying that it is possible to determine the outcome without actually running the entire program. That is, within the universe generating computation, there are computationally reducible islands. As he continued his research on the topic, he realized the problem with his previous theory. He realized that the problem with cellular automata is that they run on a pre-existing grid. He also understood that he needed something even more simple and basic than this. One of the problems with Wolfram's earlier approach was that if he in fact found the program that was generating the universe, which he believed would be no longer than 4 lines of code in his own computer language, Mathematica, then a question would spring up: why this program and not another? After working on this for so long, he finally came to a conclusion. Wolfram was then hit with the idea that the universe was being generated by all possible programs running simultaneously. The key factor that all of us have to realize is that we are not observing the universe from the outside. All of us know that it is physically impossible to do so. We are all parts of this giant universe. Wolfram theorized that we are all pieces of a self-updating space network with the overall self-updating space network of the universe. We are limited in the amount of computation and calculations that we can do. We are unable to perceive most of the computation going on all around us because of how complex it is. All of us are also limited by our biology. This makes us view time as a single dimension, overcomplicating everything. In the end, the big question still remains: why is there a universe in the first place? Wolfram thinks the universe may exist in the same sense that mathematics exists. Mathematics consists of a set of givens or axioms. Consequences or theorems can be deduced from these givens by applying the rules of logic. Just like with mathematics, the universe is the logical consequence of applying all the rules that could possibly be applied to a wide network of disembodied nodes. We experience the universe as a solid thing and not as an abstract thing, just like the theories of mathematics. In this sense, the universe is unavoidable, just as 1 + 1 = 2 is unavoidable, according to Wolfram. According to this theory, our universe became reality, not because of God or any other similar entity. The vast and wide universe exists just because it literally lifted itself out of non-existence and made itself actual. It is weird, isn't it? But don't let that discourage you. Not everything is black and white. Not all questions have straightforward answers. After all, some extraordinary philosophical questions require extraordinary answers. Phew, that was a lot for today. Are you just stunned by this explanation for the existence of the universe as we are? Let us know in the comments down below if you have any other innovative theories. If you like this video, show us your support by liking the video and pressing the subscribe button. We will see you later in another video. Until then, bye.